So, turns out we have a little problem with the previous save, in that uh, for political office, one of our characters got elected into office. And it turns out that there's a little glitch in the game right now. Don't be surprised. Where does it say? Early access right here. That, well, when I go into a meeting as a councilman, the game crashes. So we really can't do much in that game after like 5 minutes because that's when it happens. And so I've decided that I am just gonna try and do an over-explain bit right now. It'll be probably about uh, as much as I could explain or what I've figured out so far. Right now we'll probably do just the beginning, like character creation, right? So here, uh, at the start, this is probably the most important, one of the most important bits. Let me add a marker. All right, so at the start of the game, you have all these different choices for a game, well, a city. You got Magdeburg, Augsburg, London, Mazovia, Paris, Vienna, and Prospeck, and Visby. Each they all have your max of 8 dynasties. Usually the big ones have uh, their own little dynasties and stuff like that. Difficulty level, you can see there's easy, normal, hard, impossible. All it really does is start your starting money from what I can tell. Uh, then there's Poor Fellow and Career Mode. I haven't played anything besides Poor Fellow. And then you got all these different things that, or well, basically ways to end the game. I only play on free game mostly because it is fun and stuff like that. So right now we'll set it to hard, and probably what is the smallest one? Augsburg. All right. Hopefully the smaller the one, smaller the what is it? Smaller the map, the less lag we get. You got your three voices.
I've got bruises everywhere from this. Yeah, yeah.
They all sound the same to me. Then you got thick boy, kind of thick boy, and then slim boy. And you got your faces, right? Look at, bam. Then your clothing. All this really doesn't matter. This is the get up I usually get is get up 3 with beard, because beards are cool. And right here we have the ability points and the skill trees. First bit, we got our, well, food preparation, right? Food preparation involves preparing food and drink. The first level of this talent already provides you with all the necessary skills and knowledge to access grain into flour, and you could train to become a farmer, baker, and or butcher. If you continue to follow this path, you might even be an innkeeper. So there's that. Herbalism encompasses the knowledge of herbs and their effects. This trade won't make you rich, of course, but people will like to come to you with their aches and pains and buy you various remedies and medicines remedies, very much to the annoyance of the church, who would readily accuse you of witchcraft. But do not worry, because you're not really a witch. So that's all your herbs. Then you got your handicraft is basic talent to produce goods. You could specialize in smith, carpenter, stonemasons, and tailors. Eventually, handicraft becomes very important when it comes to running big businesses and stuff like that, because this gives you access to not only weapons and armor, but also woodworking, so like your horse carts and stuff like that. And then finally is the path of a rogue. You're really just gonna go out and rob people. Right now I will just press play so we can get into the game and I can explain what is happening when it comes to stats, because stats are very interesting in that they kind of affect your gameplay. Uh, I wouldn't say it's the most pressing thing, but yeah, right. All right, so this is the map of where's this? Augsburg, I think, wherever we picked. Uh, Not the biggest city, but not the smallest sort of thing, which is kind of good. Uh, so you got your WASD, Q and E to rotate, mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Your classic spacebar gives you uh, a picture of all the different routes and all the different sections for the markets. What I realized is that anywhere in this uh, yellow bit, when you select markets, they all go to this market. Here, the pink zone, they all go to this market. And orange, this market, and so on and so on. There are also two different sections of, I guess, the map. There's inside the city, or I guess three. There's inside the city, inside a village, and then just out of nowhere, right? Most things you can't really build in out of here. You need to be near a village. So anywhere that is white, you cannot build. So like in this case, it'd be over here, over here. But anywhere that's colored is where you could build. Uh, let's see. When you first start, you're given all these different things and all the stuff like that. You're given cloth and different forms of flour. What I did when I first played this, I made the mistake of... Ah, that's a bit loud. If you go into your thing, you can make these different bouquets and stuff like that. And then you realize when you look at it, this doesn't really cost much to make. When you make this, you could sell it for nothing. And then this washcloth, you sell for nothing. So when you first start, the best thing to do is get your stuff that they give you at the start. You see, I could sell it for 8, sell this for 6. Then you could go off and sell it at the market right here. So you get your nice little bonus start. All right. So let's start talking about all these different things. All right. This is your skill tree. This is probably the most important part about this game, in that, as you can see, it's all these starting skills from the main menu, but we're starting here at food prep. As you can see, food prep 2, handicraft 2, and then so on and so on. They all give you extra items, so to say. And then from there, you got your butchers, your bakers, your hospitality, which is your inn, and then your farm. Each I guess skill. Each skill unlocks this, but in these cases right here, once you get this to get a level 1 bakery, a level 2 bakery, and a level 3 bakery. But here you just unlock cream cake. So the most important part is to get these unlocked. Unlike the old guild games, you can't just go over and be, oh, I want to buy this. You buy it, and then boom, you have this. You can make everything in it. In this game, if you buy something like that, you have to have the corresponding skill from the skill tree to make anything out of it. So in that case, like I was showing you how that was an inn. If I bought the inn, I could not produce anything because I do not have the skills for an inn. But also in this game, you do not have to be there's not specializations like how in the previous ones there was patrons, then craftsmen, then rogues, and then so on and so on. For this game, all you need to do is get the skill. So that's a matter of gaining experience and buying the skill points. Uh, in that case, like if I really wanted to, I could also double specialize into handicraft, which is just spending 1,000 experience into the handicraft tree. So I unlock these, aka unlocking this craftsman hunt and allowing me to make those. I personally start off usually with food prep because eventually, if you get a farm, you do not have to rely on the market to be able to uh, buy all your goods and stuff like that. Because if you get a farm, you could get your barley and the wheat, put them in your windmill, and then bam, insta profit without having to go and buy whatever you needed. Uh, so you got that handicrafts, herbalism, same thing. You got the apothecary, uh, alchemy, medicine, and then your libraries. Rogues also have their own little set of buildings. I forget what it's called. Mercenary headquarters, smugglers' hideouts, and I think that's it. And then you upgrade them out. Ambitious over here, though, from what I could tell, it just unlocks different skills. Like if you're reluctant to rely on others, and you always want to check everything twice and 3 times, and so you don't believe a rumor about ambushes on trade routes either, but prefer to monitor the safety of the roads outside the trip. So you just get more perception. And then out here, street smart, more perception. And then you might get certain skills like intimidation right here. Over here is resistances and reputation bonus. You get bonus health, defense power, and resistance. All that is part of like combat, so you can't die. Productivity, so your people will work harder. Bargaining bonus, so you can buy things for cheaper. Let's see, is that just, yeah, that's just all the same thing. Hard worker, you work harder. This allows you to move faster, more productivity. Charisma, so you could have a higher chance to convince people to do what you want or get elected into a place. Here is reputation bonuses, make your workers work harder, and then more charisma. So that is basically your skill trees. Yeah, okay. Then from here, I will talk about these different level ranks, I guess. So there's all these different ranks of serf, commoner, yeoman, resident, citizen, free citizen, patrician, nobleman, squire, lord, baron, count, marquis, duke, and then archduke. At each one, you get your little unlock of whatever it is. As you can see, and also, once you get to certain levels, you could be able to own more businesses, aka more money, and you could also get certain actions once you hit different levels. Right here, you can see as a yeoman, I could get the ability gain to throw stones, but also have more businesses. Here, we could have more businesses and drop a bag of fleas. Citizens are you could send your kids to school, hire henchmen, escort, find evidence, and all the stuff like that. Free citizen, you could run for offices, more henchmen, more businesses. Patricians, this is basically really the last big one that I'd say, because you get warehouses. Noblemen, you could do this. More henchmen, more businesses. Write love letters, praise people, conquer buildings. Squire. Here you could basically, you've become royalty. You get your own little stuff. You could join guilds. Lord, henchmen and businesses, and so on and so on. So it wants you to be able to build all these businesses and stuff like that. And to gain all this power and stuff like that, it's just a matter of gaining experience. As you can see, it's experience needed, experience needed, experience needed. And you do that by basically, well, I just build this. We won't continue this, but we'll just build something real right quick. Right about there, right? So we have Max going over to sell all his crap. That's what you want to sell. And then once you hear that noise, usually something good's happen. In this case, it means my skill tree, or the skill I'm working towards, has been earned. In this case, you gain skill points by buying and selling things, and also producing something. That's what I've realized so far. You probably gain some from getting elected into offices and stuff like that. But right now we'll just make him go for food prep too. Well, in this case, we will also keep having him run. If you look here in the information screen, at the start where we had the chance to move all these different points into different things, you could see what they do here. Unlike in the first screen, you could actually read what they actually do. Charismatic characters have many advantages in social situations and actions, like everything that involves courtship, trade, and politics. So it's important for a head of the dynasty to have high charisma. For the second one, dexterity, it usually helps with the higher your dexterity, the higher, I think it's productivity you are. Oh yeah, I see. Next is intelligence. Perception, you could see right here. Strength. And alright, so now these are the attributes that you get from it. You have your health, which is basically very straightforward. It's if you're getting beat up in a fight, this is how many hit points you have. Fertility, you can see how fertile his character is. Basically, the young you are, the higher the chance of having a kid. Stealth, you could use it to go undetected and do bad deeds without getting caught. You can see that. Dexterity and perception increase it, while strength decreases it. Attack power, you can see that. I find it weird how strength decreases your attack power, but okay. Dexterity increases it while strength lowering it. Bargaining bonus, it basically is the percent amount that you can get off or on something you sell, like, or buy. Like if you want to get something, I think this means it gets 9% off what you buy, and I think it always rounds up. So in this case, if we bought something for like that's originally cost 9, it'd still be like 9-ish around maybe. But also it'll allow you to sell it for 9% more. So it's also good to have your transporters to have charisma. Next is damage. So this is where you do more damage, where strength and perception increase it, and negatively influenced by dexterity. Defense power, it shows how much this person can defend themselves, so transporters, very important for them. Reputation bonus, this is your bonus towards social actions and stuff like that. Resistance is basically you're defending of damage on you to prevent you from dying. Well, I guess it's poison. Just your resistance of being poisoned to death. Next is your movement speed. It usually only really comes into play if they are, if you really want your character to go around, just buy a riding horse. Next is your experience gain rate. So the smarter you are, the faster you gain your experience. Next is medicine mastery. How well it's basically first aid skills, good genetics. So this is when your child is born, you will have either higher or lower uh, skills. Usually it's kind of important, but not really. You just don't want a bad kid. Regeneration is how much HP you gain back. And then intimidation is basically your aggressive social actions success rate, or bonus success rate, since it's this is what it's like. Then strength, perception, and intelligence. Yeah, I went over this. But I'd say the most important bit for a starting head of household is charisma. Uh, Charisma, and then probably strength. Those two are the important for me. You don't really need that much intelligence. Well, it really depends on what your character is doing. So in my case, we are gonna run as a patron. Okay, so right now we are gonna set up the little bit right here. Once we set up the windmill, I'll explain the windmill and then probably back out and set up a proper game. I like how it's all running all smooth now, you know, the good old times. Right. And bam. All right. So the thing about a business or something like this, in this case, we have a windmill. We have your transporters, your workers, and all the stuff right here. With budget, that is basically how much when you select auto. That's how much your was it your transporters can basically buy from. So you could only have a budget of 300. So every year they have 300 bucks to buy whatever they need from the market, bring here. And the first thing you need to know about businesses, when you have multiple businesses running towards each other and stuff like that, uh, when you have one transporter go from, let's say, a farm to a windmill or something like that, it counts as a transporter. In this case, you have 1 out of 1. That's only because they don't ever count this one. So, first things first, always hire your transporter, because before you connect it to anything else. And personally, what I do is get another transporter, but I will explain what these upgrades mean. Disease protection, so when disease eventually comes around, uh, this will protect your workers and whoever's working in here by 10% more. I don't really find this useful, mostly because I haven't really been hit by a disease or anything big like that. Next is building security, so that's basically when people try to spy on your mill, trying to find something wrong or try and get evidence against you. That's what they do. They spy on the building, and this gives you 1 more security. Next is storage capacity. Well, in this case, we don't have any, but storage capacity, it would increase a stack size from here to 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and then so on and so on. You can see it in a warehouse, which is very useful in stuff like that. Next is fire protection. So if your building ever catches fire, this will make it so it burns either longer, if I remember. I don't remember. Next is front store space. Same thing as storage capacity. It will increase from 20 to 30, and then you could hold more stuff, which is pretty good because if you select use front store, any production here, uh, once there's not enough storage capacity, they'll just put it to the front store area. Next is storage slots. So that's pretty self-explanatory. One of the first things I always like to buy. Yeah, you can't pause it. Adds another slot. Next is customer satisfaction. So that's when you sell it here to the front store area, customers will come directly to this building and buy it from here. So customer satisfaction will basically make them feel better that you bought it from here. I don't usually get that unless it's like an inn or something like that. Next is workers. That's pretty straightforward. You get allowed another workers or another worker. Privacy protection. I think that's basically the same thing as building security, but for different actions. Front store slots, same thing as storage slots, but with the front store. Transporter, and that's just pretty straightforward. You add another transporter. And then next is productivity, which is just 5% overall productivity to all your workers. But be careful with what you buy because you can only have a max of 8. So I always recommend storage capacity, front store space, storage slots, workers, front these front store slots, transporters, and then productivity, and workers as well, because workers are very important. So like I was saying before, hire all your transporters first, because if you use another transporters from other buildings into this one, it counts as their transporter, and you cannot hire another transporter. So if I had one extra open slot and I had, let's say, a bakery come to here, it would count as this transporter, and you could not hire another transporter, which is quite important. What else? Let's see. That's good. That's good. That's good. So we have your repair building, assigned budget. That's basically, like I said before, you could how much your transporters are allowed to spend at market. Your upgrade building, depending on the building, and once you get the skill, you can upgrade it to be a better building. Next is your add-ons. Went over that. Statistics. Don't really see much in statistics right now. Storage rules. All right, this is very important. With storage rules, you can see that right here. You can resources. This is the amount of days the transporters will go to market and buy from. So like in this case, they want 2 days number of production days of which your storage keeper should have enough supplies of raw materials in stock. I just keep it at 2 because it's too much of a hassle to really do anything with it. Next is your storage. This is the minimum number of each product that you keep in storage. So personally, I like to set it to at least 1 or 2 because when you, I guess we can start hiring. Because this is, whoops, important in that when you're producing stuff, let me, oh well, I could go over that later. When you're producing stuff, it will go in the storage capacity right here. And when you have people taking stuff in and out, in and out, in and out, if you have it set to 0, the slot will go gone, or it'll be empty like this. And then the transporters can fill this up with different materials and stuff like that. And eventually, if you let that happen, you cannot produce anything because the workers will have no place to store their finished product, and they need to have a place to store their finished product in the storage before they can move it to the front store area. So I usually set it to 1 or 2, depending on what the what's it called is what the building is. Next is the front store. Same thing. They have a minimum of, I usually set to like 5, just cause 5. And here, the transporters can take both from the storage and the front store area. So you would want to have a minimum in the front store area so the workers inside this building know where to sell or what to sell. Next is your sale price. So personally, I set it up, and you can see that it's bad when you set it up. But if you set it down here, it's whatever really. But I personally set it to 15% more because I just straight up get my stuff and sell it to the market itself, which is really good. And if you really wanted to sell outside your business itself, you'd probably set it to like -10 or something like that, and sell it from there. Then you got your sell building and destroy building. And the thing is, if you destroy the building, you can't build anything on top of the wreckage and things like that. Next, we will be talking about routes. Routes can be very important in the cases of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So basically from this, I got really overwhelmed at the start when I first started doing this. At the top, you can see up here, you can see, what's this? Oh, you can get the map version. Here, you can name it. So in this case, we will name it grain because that's what we'll be buying from the market. Then you click add node up here, and then from here we will go to the market. And in this case, since we only have handbags, I want this person to buy barley and this to buy barley and wheat, right? So minimum is the minimum, basically min and max and stuff like that. It's really good when it comes to, like, if you're trying to optimize, oh, I want this person to buy a minimum of 3 before they leave the market, because sometimes the market gets understocked and then you can't buy it. So then you'll have an odd number, say like if there's only like 3 wheat left, but there's 20 barley, you'd have 3 wheat and then 5 wheat because that's the max they can carry. So this is what we have for the routes. And as you can see, each character, if they do not have some sort of bag or anything like that, they will carry 5 of each type. 5 there, 5 of each thing. So we'll have one person start running that, and then I could have Max run over to the market and explain our next point. So we have that, and then technically, if we were going big, we can do this, right? So we want you to load your grain up like this, and then from there you could also sell. But I like to set it separate because sometimes the grain runner gets overloaded with grain, so they could not pick up what we need to sell and sell. So we have this person load up the powders or the flowers. Max, oh, that's wrong way around. Load max of this, max of that. So I want a minimum of 3 and then a max of 5 for each. And then we'll call this flowers. Save, and then we'll have, since our first person is running, we'll have the second person run down there. And then we'll unpause it. Then we'll have pretty much the routes covered. Next we have we will run Max over to the market. All right. So with the market, you would default have this important goods where it'll tell you all the important stuff and then what the prices are right now. If it's red, it's usually bad. If it's yellow, it's meh, it's average, and then green is good. Uh, right here, you see how purchase the green would be good. With all these different things, see these all do different bits. Play guitar. Interesting. But you see all the different raw market goods. These are all the raw goods needed for the different stuff. You could see how manufacturing business, or well, what type of business this is for. This is for herbalists, uh, stuff like that, alchemists, farms, mines, scriptoriums, and stuff like that. Same with the food. You can see where they're produced. The little symbols, like that's bakery symbol. Right here is a butchery symbol, and then so on and so on. Right here, weapons are very important in that if you look at them, they do different things. They give you attack and defense power. Like if you looked in uh, the previous bit where we talked about the different attack skills, very important for your transporters, really. Next are your crossbows. So that's all the. Oh, this is what they do, really. This is technically what they're made of. So if you're planning to do a manufacturing bit, this is what you need to make them. Here, your purpose for this would be really to use this as attack, so as rogues or something like that. Next is your rapier. I don't even know if that's the right term or right way to say it. That's always said it. It's pretty good, but the thing you should always be buying for your transporters are maces, because they have good attack power, or was it maces? Something. Whatever had the most defense power. I forget. I think I've always bought maces because the maces were the cheapest and they did the most damage. Or rapiers, I forget which one. But the purpose is buy your transporters weapons, especially if they run in and out of the city a lot, because then they could get mugged, like these two people down here. They're fighting each other, getting one is probably mugging the other. Next is your armor, defense power, pretty standard. Handguns, pretty good, pretty cool, because you could equip a weapon, a handgun, and a shield. Plate mail, same thing as armor. Just you replace your clothes with armor, then bam, that's what you get. Next is a shield, defense power, pretty good. Daggers, pretty good if you don't really have much to sell. Like if you start as a manufacturer, it's very important or very good to have your main character just carry around a dagger just in case. Next is chainmail, same thing as plate mail and leather armor. Short sword, same thing as other swords, just less powerful. Gabison, just Gabison. And then iron bracers, these are put on your arms. So, in this case, this is your arm. This is your weapon. This is a talisman. These are 3 extra bits. Shields go on the extra bit, so it's very. What my classic strategy is to get a mace, a firearm, some sort of armor, a shield, and then we go to where is it? Luxury items here. Luxury items are important in that they give you bonus, basically bonus base stats, which are very good. Like the perception here, the belt here, like this guard dog you just have up here. and various other stuff like that. It's very good to have the ones that boost your stats, especially as you get older and more powerful, because more people will try and attack you if you're not inside a building doing something. As you can see, there's also this big section for clothing, in that you get certain bonuses depending on the clothing. Nobleman's, as you can see, defense power, garb of arrogance, reputation bonus, money bag, and then bam, 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 so on and so on. Very good, or I wouldn't say very good, except this camouflage coat. That's pretty good. But I'd rather personally, I'd wear an armor suit than some fancy clothes. Next are your essentials. So this is usually processed goods, but not the final product. Like how wheat flour and flour can be turned into bread or something like that. And these were your different sort of things you can use. Poems you could read off to lovers to make them love you more. Carrying bag allows you to have more space. It'll add +5 to +5, so you'll have 10 and 10. Riding horse, it'll give you one more storage slot and allow you to move a lot faster. Horse-drawn cart, it moves you faster. It adds 2 more extra slots and then adds 15, so you could carry 20, 20, 20, 20, which is very, very good. But the thing is, not a lot of people produce this. It's very rare. So eventually, if you want horse-drawn carts, you're gonna have to produce them yourself, sort of thing. Next is handy carts. Handy carts are very good because someone produces them somehow, somewhere, and they basically do the same thing as a horse-drawn cart, but it's less movement speed and one less slot, so it's 20, 20, 20. Personally, I would not put anything besides a riding horse as a thing for your own family, per se. Next is all these different bonuses, random bonuses and stuff like that. Silver rings, little chains, stuff like that. And these are basically in between goods that you need to make other better goods, per se, like wheat flour and fat make bread and stuff like that. Next is the black market goods, where you get all your shifty stuff. And if you hold right click, it'll tell you if it's legal or illegal. And if you see at night, you see guards walking around. Sometimes they could stop you, and if you get caught with the illegal stuff, I think you get fined. Or depending on the thing, I think you could also get put in jail. But yeah, you can see some of this stuff is legal, some of the stuff is illegal. Personally, if it is legal, I'd like to buy poisons and stuff and put them on my hitmen and go around killing people. Next is your furniture. I don't really think this does much. Some of it does, but missing block OXO, you can see that this is not really meant to be bought. Finally is your tools. Some of this is needed for manufacturing, and some of them are completed. You could see how fittings right here are used for different stuff and things like that, but mostly the only real things you'll really be tabbing to is weapons and armor, important goods, and probably essentials. Those are the real 3 things you'll be tabbing a lot to around here. So yeah, that is pretty much that. Explanation on the windmill. That. Okay. Now let's back out and start a real game. Okay. So we will start at Augsburg with a max of 2 dynasties. Difficulty hard, poor fellow. Free game. I wonder what the campaigns are, but I'll probably do that later, so I could make that a whole series and stuff and make boom dollar. Alright, start Maximilian. Sure, that's a cool symbol. Food with clothing of that guy. Give me a nice looking beard man. Yeah. Let's take down intelligence. Boost charisma. There. Okay. I like that. Good, good, good. Max. Right. So this is a new series we're gonna start since the last one kind of bugged out because political reasons. Don't go into politics because it'll crash your game over and over again. So this is Augsburg. I set a max of 2 dynasties, so hopefully we don't get all the extreme lag as we did last time. That's our little flyover of the city. Bam. So we started right here with little Maximilian. Who are you? 38-year-old woman. And this is where we're starting. Hopefully, I probably won't try and run for all this crap, because if I do, I'll probably really just mess me up more than anything else. Ooh. Okay. Set that to there. And we will build that's not the build. That's the build. We will build a village mill. Okay. Bam. Can I build it right next to my house? That'd be too easy, wouldn't it? Can I build it here? Fine. I'll build it right next to the cemetery. There we go. And let's see what they got here. So, no riding horses? Sad. That's really all we need. And have Max run back to his house. Hopefully this will run a lot smoother, because I do not want this to be jumpy like last time. So I set it to minimal amount of dynasties, like 2. So I think there's either me and one other person, or me and 2 other dynasties. Either or is probably fine. And bam. Have you run to the village. Bam. Okay. Let's go and hire that. Add-ons we must get: storage slots, workers, transporters, front store slots, productivity. Good 5. Stop. Hire another one of those. Stop. Then we have our routes of add. You need a load that and that. Minimum of 5 and 5. 5 and 5. We'll call this grains. Okay, and we'll have that in this, and where we will load this and that. Minimum of 3, so you don't keep buying crap. That's what I needed to do. That's what I need to do. Okay. So if I go here, make them load this and that. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maximum of 5. And then that, right? So theoretically, they can't leave the mill unless they have 5 of each flower. So we could prevent them from overstocking the inside of this bit. Oh, there they go. Apparently they had a minimum of 1. Minimum of 4. There we go. We'll have you run it too. Sure. Apparently the minimums never work. Good. Good to know. Oh, maybe. It might work. 2. Oh, okay. Well, we tried. Alright, then we go storage rules. Save at least 2. Front store, go sell 5. And we'll sell it for 5% off so people actually buy it from here. Bam. Transfer. And we'll only hire 2 workers because that's all we really need right now. So they have I think it's saved as a minimum of 1 for some reason. Save. But they need at least some sort of wheat before they run it, which is good. So they don't just go over and keep buying and buying and buying. And that's what I had last time, which was a big problem. I'll probably call this like an over-explain, or well, I'll probably call the tutorials we had before an over-explain. This will be like just a playthrough, but a patron playthrough, which is pretty fine, really. Experience is going up. I talked about how to get experience, right? Yeah. We only need 1 worker right now. You can see that this person has probably more dexterity than I do. Yeah. So they produce stuff a lot faster than I do. Okay. This one we probably won't go into politics at all because that's what made the game crash last time and unplayable, sadly. Ooh, someone broke into my building. I don't care. Upgrade the dexterity. I'll probably do politics towards the end of it, when everything's all set in stone, sort of thing. And this playthrough becomes meh. Good. And probably first things first, we will get a farm so we don't have to keep running to the market and back. Oh, see? This is what I mean. It starts to fill up. This is why I don't like having runners run there and back to get certain stuff, because then they start filling up with crap they can't carry. Never turns out well. See? Then you got 6. It annoys me. So we will take this out and new a load the different flour, minimum of 3. I doubt it'll work. Max of 5, 5, and 5. Call this flour. Save, and you run it. Let's offload these guys because they are not doing anything good. Alright, we have the runs of grains and then runs of flour. There we go. We got it working now. This is why I use the front store area, so you could produce more than normal. More dexterity. You can have more strength. Good. Alright, I guess instead of this stuff now, let's make green pap. Ah, crap. Then Trude. Hold that, and we'll just wait a little bit. Well, we stop making flour. We're gonna start making green pap. So that minimum of 5, max of 10. Add, sell that. Max of 10. Call this pap. Don't really know what green pap is. Probably like something. There we go. You go to market. You go to market. Then we, from here, can sell this crap, this crap, this crap. And let's start running the grains and the flour, or the pap. You can get better strength. And so on. Okay. Hopefully we can make green pap faster than they can sell it, sort of thing. It's always good to see. Bam. Halfway to getting another specialization. Not enough space. Yeah, they also don't do spacing right. One thing I ask of for this game that or this is just a Patron stream. One thing I ask of is autosaves, because autosaves are quite cool. Nice to have, sort of thing. Oh, you gotta run faster. buy a handy cart if there is any. There's 3. Pause. Buy 1. Bam. Buy 1. Bam. And run the 5 barley. Alright, and let's expand this to a handy cart. So buy like 10. Save. And the pap can load as much as he can using a handy cart. 20. 20. Not sure these minimums ever work, but it's, you know, just good to have. Bam. Set that up to 20. 20. And 20. There we go. Four guys working on it. And then overnight it should overflow it with wheat and grain. Max skip, better charisma, better dexterity. You, better dexterity. There we go. Statistics. Interesting. I thought I said only 1 or 2 dynasties, not 5. So more than Book of Guilds, Book of Dynasties. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why are there so many? I thought I wanted 2. Oh. It's a lot less than the other campaign, so it probably shouldn't crash the game. Good resident. And we have farms. Get the butcher running. Build a croft. And we'll call this village. I can't spell. Village farm. Farmville. Bam. Screw those yellow flowers. Bam. Keep building. It's not slowing down. That's what I like. Last time it was like stupid slow. Strength and dexterity. Let's see. I think we're the only patron here. Alright. First things first. Transporter. Productivity. Front store slots. Workers. Storage slots. And that's probably fine. And hire the 2 runners, which will run grains instead of that place you load at the village farm. Save. These guys will probably run I don't know yet. What is that? Oh, it was like, it's a Kniffy. Hire the 3 workers. Barley, wheat, cattle. And we'll have one person go from here to the market to sell the cows. Probably wait till you get like 4 cows. If that even works. Cows. Confirm. Save. Then auto. Could wait a little bit. That'd be great. Add-ons. Storage rules. Save like 2, 5. Sell for 5% under. Right. Bam. We got grain pap running in. Rolling in. And then we got our own homegrown grain. Notice how 3 out of 2 transporters, because Trude is part of a transporter. We should probably have Max come over here and grow something. I'll eat barley and wheat, so we stop the cow market guy. Whatever. That's fine. Max will have a fun time making some wheat. Good, we're a citizen. Speed on through. Keep on, keep it on. Yeah, double specializing will probably be not a priority right now, at least. Oh right, that's right. I could do an over explain on this thing. All right, here we have well, technically the first building one of the first buildings you can unlock outside your main mill as a patron. We have a farm, which is what you get out of Agriculture 1. As you can see, I've already set it up a little bit, but when your first level 1 farm, you get cattle, barley, wheat, which you can use for your mill or sell directly to the market, which I recommend you go directly to your mill because it is cheaper to produce it yourself and sell the finished product from there. It's called vertical, basically vertical integration. That's an actual thing. For the add-ons I used for the first bit is like what I explained before: storage slots, workers, front store slots, transporters, and productivity. That's the add-ons I used. I hired my 2 transporters first, then I connected my other transporters. Add-ons, statistics, don't look at statistics or whatever. Storage rules, this is what I put as storage rules because it is very important to keep a minimum amount in your storage so your workers will always produce. Same with your front store. And sale price, you could set it whatever you want, really. As you upgrade your building, you could get a level 1, which is good. Level 1 farming is here. Level 2 farming building is here. A level 3 farming building is there. Every time you upgrade a building, you will get access to the rank 2 farm. Once you get the skill level 3, you can upgrade it again and then get rank 3. As you can see, these are all upgrade. It adds more add-ons and more fun. Once you hit rank 2, the storage capacity and storage slots are always very important, especially along with workers, because you need more workers, more fun, etc., etc. That's what I would do for these workers, especially since farms will be, as a patron, one of the most central bits to your empire, since it produces the wheat and barley and technically the meat and fat that you will need for the rest of your bakeries and mills and all the fun stuff like that. And eventually you can make your own horses and start supplying the market with horses so people can start moving around instead of having to walk on their feet like peasants as they are. Okay, and that was that explained. Oh, alright, good. As you can see here, this is why I keep a minimum of 2, so they can't overload on one thing here. What I used to do is that I used to have them load it, go here, dump off any excess, come here, which is probably a good idea. So we could get any excess grain sold, but also anything else sold. So here, so there. Hold on. So we want to load everything from there. So we load there, then we unload this. Any excess barley or wheat we just sell. More than 10. Don't load any, so that should be fine. So he goes, let me see this, right? You go to the village mill. Right. Market. Go to the village farm. Go to the village mill. Offload your crap. Then you go to the market. Good. It's probably because they're actually using all of everything there. Yeah, don't forget to unload your transports, because eventually they get overstocked, whatever they're carrying, and it gets annoying because it's a clog, because they're not smart enough to realize that, oh, we can't use this, so let's just sell it or hold on to the specific amount required. They just overload themselves on wheat and stuff. Okay. But here, in this case, we have them get what they need. Bam, sell. It's good, because they can't really overproduce with 10, because 10 would make 20, and that's a stack. Okay, in this case though, come here, and you need to grab like 40-ish barley. There we go. Then have you sell that, because it is a little bit overloaded from last time. Bam. Then we have you run your pap runs. Alright. We will have... Oh, no room. Your cow guy is fine. You can just sell excess wheat and barley. Thing about this game, you can only sell... Oh no, this is the wrong way around. That's buying. You could only buy and sell like what you have there, or what you produce there. So you can't like make alcohol and then sell it at the bakery. You have to sell it at the inn, and stuff like that. So that is grain market. Alright. Save. And we'll have this person that's just sitting around doing nothing. Have him start running. And have where's the market? Here? Cool. We'll have a butchery. City butcher. Alright. There. We could probably build another one right there if we're lucky. And we will have Max start growing cows. Whoa. I didn't say carry the cows. Here, Max start making the cows. Sell the wheat. Yeah, and at night, once everything starts going down, that's good. Then instead of running the cows to market, we will run the cows to the butcher. Save. And the butchery here. Ooh. What? Gird. Okay, add-ons. The transporter. And oh, they changed it. Good. Normally it'd do the whole transporter not available sort of thing. And workers, storage slots. Alright. Good. We'll have someone run. Well, we're gonna just make fat right now. I guess only fat. 10 and 10. Fat. Save. And we'll have him run it. We have one person making beef and 2 people making fat. We should have set a minimum so he's not just consistently running. Okay. I'm not sure if minimums actually work in this game, but whatever. It's the idea that helps, right? Yeah, he's running 1 cat all over. That's great. Good, almost all of that is sold. How are you guys? Let's set stacks of 20. Grain. That's not what I want. I want this. I want this to be 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and 20. Wish I could type that in, but it won't. Save, because this game is gonna crash. Give this man some strength. He's big poppy. Oops. Oh well. That guy was meant to get dexterity, but oh well. We have no production of wheat. That's probably why. Oh, that's bad. This is what I meant. It's bad sometimes. Yeah, there we go. Are you waiting for something? Why were you waiting there? Okay. Bam. Route for PAP. Oh, you're waiting for a minimum of 5, but you load 20, then 5. Interesting. Good to know. Oh, they did it again. This is why it's annoying sometimes. Okay, run that this way. Probably have you only grab like 20 or so at a time rather than. Okay, there we go. Send you back and schedule some PAP. Only run like 20 at a time. I know I got you this fancy cart. Can't use all of it. I know. Damn. This is the annoying bit. This precarious battle of loading everything in the right order. Because then things stop producing. Okay. Load 20. Probably solve it by doing this. Load max of 19. So there's always at least one there. There we go. That should fix it. Alright, good. He didn't grab all of it and run. Who's this dude? Astrid. Oh, thieves. This is like the first time I'm actually getting robbed. Then you sell all the fat. Storage rules. Oh, need to over-explain this. Alright, so this is a city butcher. Or, well, a butchery that you get from, not this, from this skill tree right here. This is part of the Patron skills. This is, unlike other buildings, cannot be upgraded. This is only one. Only one section, only one extra bit. Like always, I always recommend these ones: storage slots, workers, front store slots, transporter, and productivity. Mostly because those will be the most helpful. Usually you'll be using these butchers to be making fat and processing the cows from your farm. You could be either turning these into leather, which can be turned into clothes and stuff like that, or mostly it's mainly used for fat. Apparently no one's running my fat run. I thought they were running my fat run. But other than that, these are quite the necessity when coming with when building bakeries and stuff like that, because many of the higher up breads require animal fat to be made, and that's why this butcher is one of also the key parts of this tree and quite easy to get. These two are very important for what you plan to do as a patron. Good. All right, let's see. Oh, let's do F12. That's an over-explain of that. And we did. Let's close all this crap. So much crap. Village mill have stopped working. Village mill has stopped working. Village mill has stopped working. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Someone tried to kill me. It'd be like that sometimes. Can I just close all of this? Guess not. Village mill will probably stop working again. No, they're good. Alright. That's fine. We'll just take a picture of this. Oh, no. Like this. There we go. Then let's get a good angle on this. I say as I look straight into a tree. There we go. Alfred. Alright, that's good. And alright, not enough barley. Nope. And then it did it again. That's annoying. Okay, unload about 28. Sure. Then we will have Trude sell this crap. Alright. And then Trude run her grains tab. Barley eventually becomes a lot more important than wheat anyway. And up here we have our bakery made and stuff like that. Alright, yeah, let's build the baker, then I could do an over-explain on the baker. That'd be too perfect, wouldn't it? Okay. killing cows gives a lot of experience. Alright. And the last one there. Okay. Then we got 3 workers. Bam, bam, bam. Alright. In this case, green market, we will only be selling wheat. Good. In this case, we will only be making barley flour. The age of the grain pap is over. We'll have one person probably make wheat flour if it's so I don't have to change much. Okay, and we'll have him do flour runs, but instead of there, it's there as a hand cart, please. 20. Like 2, 3, 20, 2. Save. Have him instead of that guy run those routes. Alright. Let's okay. There to the bakery. And there here we will load fat. 10 and 10. Bakery fat. Confirm. Okay. First things first, we will have less barley. Have Max run to the bakery. Okay. I should probably make a Discord, like big old Discord, and have people come in and ask questions, sort of thing. Guild one, that'd be nice to set up. A lot to set up though. Okay, is Max here? Good. Then you make bread rolls when it comes to that. Or it's bakery fat. Run that. Is auto not running? Why are you not running auto? You get beat up or something? Okay. Oh crap. Trude. Overstocking the windmill again. That's not the market. This is the market. Alright, sell that. Just unload it completely. Then you're still running your flower runs. Good. Bam, bam. Then have Trude run her grains. Let's tone this down to like 10 because we don't need that much. Good. Alright. And then we have to have someone sell that and that. 5, 5. Tier 1. I can't. Profit. Can't spell. Good. And we'll just have both of them run it. Why do we have 3 people running? What? Whatever. Bakery, yes. And then we have our fat runner. Good. Alright. Let me set marker. Alright. So I set up bakery right here. This is same thing as before. When it comes to bakery, it is one of the first skills you can get as a patron. There is level 1, 2, 3, as you can see, and then 4 you get this nice little cake thing right here. Other than that, the add-ons I wish, or I see as the best, is productivity, which comes very good. Transporters, because you will always need some transporters. Front store slots, so you could store more workers, because workers make more money. Storage slots, because storage is always good to have. Storage capacity, once you hit tier 2 and 3, are very important because it's better than storage slots. And those are the ones I recommend. As you can see, I have, as a tier 1, I have someone getting honey, someone getting rock candy, and someone making hardtack, with my main guy making bread rolls. That's how I see the tier 1 to be used as, so you could utilize every single thing and make every single thing. You don't necessarily have to make bread rolls, or you don't have to make hardtack, but this is how I normally set it up. Storage rules, I didn't set them. I'd set to like 2 for the backstory, or I should probably set to like 5. 5 and 5, and then 5% under if people decide to buy from here. And from there, we just have our runners. This is where all your different buildings as a patron come together, mostly. Because you got your bakers or your butcheries getting their fat from their butchers, which comes from a farm. They are also getting their flour, which comes from a windmill, which comes from a farm. So, as you can see, like I said before, a farm is very important when it comes to the central bit of your empire. It comes from your farm to your mills, from your farm to your butcheries, or in some cases you get your farm to your. Do you get your farm to here? Oh no, that's the other thing I'm thinking of. But like I said, have strong farms, because strong farms are important when it comes to a patron, because this bakery is one of the most money-making things you can get as a patron. in Guild 3 at the moment. Okay, and right here, F12. Alright. And upgrade. How old am I? 25. I need to do some marriage. Gotta explain that too. Ew. Alright, I guess with this, I will be closing off the stream. I guess if you guys like this, this is be the one that we're gonna continue, since the last one kind of got us in a little bit of a crashing roller coaster. So let me save this Patron stream. And from then on, till next time.